Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cozy and Thriving. I'm your host, Michaela, and this is a podcast where we just learn how to build a life that we actually want to be present for. I'm so excited for today's episode because we have a new set, y'all. I worked for like 3 hours making this set how I want it to be. If you guys know, I record in my garage, so I really have the flexibility and the freedom to kind of make it what I want it to be. And oh my gosh, it looks so good. So if you are just a listener, if you're on Spotify, turn on the little video just for like a couple seconds just to see it because I worked hard on it. But if you're on Apple, go to YouTube and just look at it real quick. Today, we are talking about setting boundaries in your business, but also just in life. Like, I'm definitely going to be sharing a lot of business references, but that's just because that's where I am in this like season of my life, is just like a cozy CEO, and boundaries are just like really important. And I know we use boundaries, like overuse it. I feel like it's like we need to set boundaries. And it gets overwhelming. It gets like a little bit too much, but I do feel like it's a place where people are often overlooked. People often get stepped on in this area, and it leaves us burnt out. And I am an advocate for not burning out and for setting my life up in a way to where I won't get burnt out. So that's what this entire episode is. I'm so excited to get started. So grab your coffee. So I have 2 drinks today. I have my water. I got this cup from TJ Maxx. I think it is so cute. I love the gradient and that it kind of like is giving off coffee. So I just love that. And then I have my Wawa coffee here because I went across the border to North Carolina today to get a rug off of Facebook Market. And so I grabbed a coffee on the way. So this episode is like a lot more personal to me just because I'm actually still learning this. I'm still learning boundaries. I'm still learning when to say no, when to say I'm taking a break, and all the things. So this is going to be an episode where me and you can like learn together, grow together, and set these boundaries up together, because it's definitely something that I need to work on in honestly just my business life. In my personal life, I actually am really good at it. But in my business life, I do feel like I allow for myself to get stepped on and kind of like walked over and kind of taken advantage of. And I don't want that in my business, especially as somebody who does work by myself. So a little preview of what we're going to be talking about. It's going to be protecting your peace. We're also going to talk about creating a life outside of work or outside of your responsibilities. Like, you are not just your job. You are not just your business. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then we're also going to talk about boundaries in your business. And then at the very end, we are going to make a boundary pact together where we're going to make boundaries in our business, in our personal life, all the things together. And we're going to not burn out. We're not going to burn out in our business or anything. Okay, so number 1 is protecting our peace. And when I say protecting your peace, I mean not burning out. I mean not hustling. I mean still wanting to do the things that you want to do, still having the motivation and the discipline to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. It's not like a total burnout. Like, when I say burnout, I mean like it is a struggle to do anything. It's just not feeling it, if that makes sense. I feel like I said not too many times. So some wins for me. And again, I'm using a lot of business references just because that's the season of life that I'm in and what I'm really focused on right now. But the boundaries that I've made for my business are: I'm not working past 6 for clients. I'm not working on Sundays, and I'm not responding to clients outside of work hours. So there are times where I will like message somebody real quick just because like, okay, I can, but that doesn't mean that at any hour of the day, any second of the day, they can expect a response from me. There's like certain hours and certain time frames where I will respond to my clients, talk to my clients. But outside of those hours, I really try not to, just because I don't want work to be always like the first thing on my mind. I want it to be like, okay, I have this set amount of hours that I do this thing, and you're a part of that. If you are working any 9 to 5 job and you have employees or clients or anything, 9 times out of 10, you're not talking to them when you clock out. That's just the reality of it. Now, you might be friends with some clients, you might be friends with some of your employees, but when you clock out, I would make it like the biggest thing ever is like once I clock out and I'm no longer Michaela, the receptionist, or Michaela, the salesperson, or whatever you do as a job. I'm no longer Michaela, the editor. I'm just friends. We're not talking about work related things. And I think that that is really hard when you own your own business, especially if your friends are using you and coming to you and paying you for work. I feel like that is the hardest thing. So I would just set those boundaries up with clients and friends and everything. So the mindset shift that made this possible was that I want to spend time with friends and family and do things around without always thinking like of work. I'm not thinking about my clients. I'm not thinking about the content I have to post, especially being a content creator. I think a lot of times we're just like always wanting to get some type of content. And I think that's why I shifted away from trying to do lifestyle content to doing very much like, this is what I talk about content, because I don't feel like when I go to the movies, I have to like share it. Or when I go to a concert, I have to like vlog the concert. I feel like as not a lifestyle creator, I have freed myself up from that. However, there are things where like I want to get B-roll, or there might be something that I am talking about where I've gone out or whatever, and I want to add that, but it's always planned. It's never just like, oh, let me hurry up and get content for this. Let me hurry up and like pull out my phone so I make sure I have content for next week or whatever. It's never like that. So I just realized that I wanted to have that like intentional time with my family, with my friends, and not be split between work and individuality. So I feel like the guilt, I can't really think of another word for that, but just kind of like, I guess, where you feel bad for setting boundaries comes from like people pleasing. I know for me as the oldest, I just want to make everybody happy. I want there to be peace and harmony and everything in every situation. I've just always been that way. And literally my video like editing aspect of my business is literally to make your life easier. It's to make content creation fun for you. It is to take what I believe the hardest part of editing is, the hardest part of content is, which is editing, and do it for you to make sure that your life is easier. So I like, not that that's people pleasing because it is just my business, but it is that like thought process of I want to make sure that you are good and making sure that you are pleased. And again, can't think of a better word, but quote unquote, sacrificing myself for the benefit of your content. Another way that we can feel bad for setting up boundaries is, I guess, the fear of disappointing. That one is definitely a big one. I don't think that I have really a big fear of disappointing, but I definitely don't want to disappoint anyone. So that one could be a big thing for just like setting boundaries. I know, like, for example, just somebody wants to post a video on Saturday and I'm not working Saturday or Sunday. So the earliest I'll be able to get to it is Monday. I wouldn't want them to feel like, oh my gosh, this is so disappointing because I really wanted to post this, but she has all my content. It's like halfway done. I need her to finish it, whatever. So that's just kind of like my, I guess, mindset on that. And the last one is just wanting to be a good business owner. Like, I feel like the boundaries, sometimes everybody sees what a good business is differently. There's not one business that doesn't get complained about. There is not, like, if you go onto Google reviews and like just look at companies around you, big companies, small companies, there's always going to be like one or two people that aren't happy. And sometimes you're like, girl, that's not even that big of a deal. Like, chill out. But that's just kind of how our world works. And so you're wanting to be a good business owner, and by not setting boundaries, you're feeling like you are being a good business owner, but in reality, it's just burning you out and making you not a good business owner. So in order for me to stay not burnt out, to protect my peace, to continue just having a good business and being a good business owner, the things that I do to help like kind of close that down is at the end of my workday, I'll close down every single tab. I will not leave any work tabs open. I say every tab, but sometimes I'll like be wanting to watch a YouTube video. So I'll have the YouTube video like tab up instead of like bookmarking it or putting it in for watch for later. I just keep the tab up. I don't know why, but I do. I will literally go in and silence my clients' like notifications because there is that separation. Like, I want to be nice and friendly and we can kiki and have fun, but at the end of the day, we're not besties. And so I do have to separate that. And so I will silence the notifications. Most of my clients are actually I use Google Chat. And so I will talk to all my clients through that. And that makes it easy because I can literally just silence the entire app and I'll go in and check it when hours are open again. I also won't check my work email. I do have my Amazon account hooked up to my work email. However, if I don't have a package coming, I won't check my email. And literally the Amazon app gives me notifications so I don't have to go into it. But I won't check my work email until the next like business day. So I'll check it in the morning. I'll check it throughout the day, check it at like right before I clock out. And then I won't check it again. It just kind of keeps it separated. It just helps me separate. I won't be thinking about things all night. It's just an easy way to kind of close out the day. And then if somebody emails me throughout the hours that I'm off, I don't see it because I don't get notifications for it. So it just really helps. It really helps. Now for my personal content, my podcast, everything, my mind is constantly going for that. So I am still working on boundaries for that, but I do recognize that I won't record super late at night. But I do recognize within myself, there are like times where I will not want to record anymore. Like for instance, this podcast, what time is it? It's 2:40 in the afternoon. If it got to 5:00, I probably would not record my podcast. That's just me personally. I feel like at nighttime, my mind is going, but I don't have the energy to actually put out what I'm like thinking. So I do think I have like a subconscious boundary for that, but it's not all the way there. So if you don't own a business and you're trying to figure out boundaries for like your house and responsibilities and everything, I would just kind of start with those. You can do the same exact things. If you're trying to spend time with your family at night, but you know that you're just a popular person and you get so many texts and so many calls, I would say put your phone on Do Not Disturb and walk away. Because you're with your family, you're with your husband, you're with the people that like you're wanting to spend time with, then it just makes it so much better. I would say the same thing even if you're hanging out with a group of friends, to put your phone on Do Not Disturb. And I know like you want to take pictures and all the things, but at least when your phone's on Do Not Disturb, you're not getting notifications and you're not getting sucked into what I call the TikTok vortex, when you just kind of like keep scrolling endlessly, or you're not going on rabbit holes on Instagram and like in other conversations. You're being present in the moment, and it's really going to help. And it's funny because I feel like all the boundaries have to do with like this with the phone, because it feels like anybody could access you at any point of the day, and you don't really want that. It's like the fact that somebody can have access to you at any point of the day should not be a thing. So on that note, let's start to create a life outside of our responsibilities, outside of work, all of that. Like, what does it mean to create a life outside of that? As a cozy CEO, as a entrepreneur, as somebody who works for herself, what does it mean? Personally, my business is something that I feel gives me purpose, and it gives me something to do with my time that I truly, truly enjoy. Like I love every aspect of my business, and I have so many like ideas and thoughts and things that I want to do to like grow my business. It definitely gives me purpose and I enjoy it. When I started my business, the goal wasn't to work 80 hours a week and just to be a workaholic and always be thinking about work, doing work, all the things. I wanted to build it to help support my family. I wanted to build it to give back to my family and my community. And I just wanted to be able to build a legacy and something for my future children and their children and all the things. Like, this isn't just for me to have something to do. It's bigger than what I am doing right now. And that is the goal of this. So if your business is your passion, if your business is your purpose and you're so excited, it is hard to step away because you honestly love it. You care for it. You want to do everything you can to protect it. But when you step away for just a period of time, and I'm not saying like go away for a year and then come back. I'm saying like when you set these little boundaries, like no work after 6 p.m. or I'm taking a day off every single week. One day I will work 6 days a week, but for one day I'm not working at all. There's like all of these little things that you can do to just kind of like step away and separate yourself from it. So that way you can actually enjoy your life, enjoy your home, enjoy your family and your friends and all the things. When you do that, it keeps you excited for the next day. It keeps you excited for the next week, for what's to come, what you're trying to build. And it also just keeps you from burnout. I don't think that it's healthy to work yourself to the ground. I don't think it's healthy to always be constantly like, oh, this is a work call, I have to take it. Oh, I'm in the middle of lunch with my husband, but I'm going to be on my phone talking to my client the whole time. Like, I just don't think that that's healthy. I think that there needs to be a separation and a boundary for that. And what I've learned is when you set the boundary at the beginning, like I am so adamant on not working on Sundays that all of my clients know that. And even if somebody texts me on Sunday, they know that I'm most likely not going to respond. There's like absolutely no way that I will respond on Sunday. I'll usually respond Monday morning. Saturdays you can still catch me, but Sundays is like a no-go. And I've told every single one of my clients that from the very beginning, that Sundays I am not in office. I don't work Sundays. I won't respond. And they all respect that. When your clients respect your boundaries, it is now up to you to also respect them. So if my clients aren't messaging me on Sunday and I'm like, you know what, I'm actually just going to edit a video on Sunday, that's not me respecting my boundary when everyone else is around me is. So it goes both ways. It's not just some people that need to be like blocked. It's also you just kind of knowing, hey, I'm not going to do this because that's what I said I wasn't going to do. Okay, so in this portion of the podcast, I want you to kind of think about, or if you're watching and you have like paper and pen or your phone or whatever, to just kind of like brainstorm and write down like some things that fill you up or just that you enjoy outside of work. So for instance, for me, or outside of your responsibilities. So for me, that's things like right now I'm really into Grey's Anatomy. I love to read. Fall is right around the corner. So I am like just all about things fall, like just going to pumpkin patches, going on hikes, being outside, playing my Switch, spending time with my husband. Literally, I'm going to see Freakier Friday tonight and I'm so excited. But maybe for you, you're not as like introverted as me and you're not like just trying to do like hobbies by yourself and you actually do like going out with friends. So on Tuesday nights, you make it a point to have a girls' night out or a girls' night in, whatever the case may be, where you're spending time with your friends. You could be like me and you want to have self-care every single night. I'm working on this, okay? I've been doing like my self-care on Sundays where I'll like just kind of like reset everything. I mean, like wash my hair, shave, do my everything, shower, bubble baths. I got these new like bath bombs with like leaves. They're like little maple leaves for fall. So I'm super excited to start using those. But just having like a good self-care routine every single night, I think is going to be so fire, but I don't do it yet. I'm only currently doing it on Sundays. So just like having things like that where you're just like brainstorming things that you like to do outside of work. And you're going to see, oh, I actually do have a life. I actually do go out. I actually do like to spend time with people, and I do like to explore my area and all the things. Like, we're going to build you a life outside of things you have to do and things that are just like part of adulthood. Okay, so I looked up, I'm going to kind of look at my iPad for a second. I looked up what like taking breaks actually does for you as a CEO and as just a person in general. And this is what Google/ChatGPT told me. So it will improve your productivity and focus. You'll have enhanced concentration, better decision making, and it'll recharge your mental batteries. I think in one of my like early episodes, I was talking about how like I made rest scientific. I love science. I think that it's like so cool to just like see how intricately we were made and just how intricate the world is and how like detailed God is. I just think it's so cool. So I like said some of these in that, like, rest is intentionally built in to us because it does good things for us. So taking a break, rest, all of that also helps increase your creativity and innovation. So you'll have more like out of the box thinking. It also reduces stress and improved well-being. You'll have more effective communication and improved self-awareness. So taking a break, resting, having a life outside of the things that take a lot of brain capacity, all of that is good for you. So build yourself a life outside of your work and responsibilities, okay? We are coming to the end. We are going to build ourselves some business boundaries. And we're definitely both growing in this because right now my current challenge is just going above and beyond what is actually necessary. I think that it's good to be excellent, it's good to do good work, and it's good to do a little bit more. But when it's above and beyond, and it's almost to a point where it really doesn't matter, and like your clients aren't noticing, other people aren't noticing, and you're just burning yourself out for no reason, it becomes an issue. And so that's my biggest challenge right now is I think that I will try to go above and beyond to keep my clients, where if what I'm doing, when my excellent work and my good work isn't good enough, it just kind of like weeds out the clients that you should have and shouldn't have. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Your client could literally just not flow with your workflow, or you could just not flow with your client's workflow. There's no issue. So when I first started my business, I had a package. I called my packages basic and standard. Now I've changed them because I'm like, your content's not basic or standard. It should be great when it comes to me. So I made them like all these like cozy names. But anyways, so my basic package was literally me just cutting up your video. It was taking out the dead space, kind of cleaning up the audio a little bit. That wasn't technically a part of the package, but I would do it anyways just because I felt like that was like that excellence thing, and it took me a second to clean up the audio. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but I went above and beyond. This client of mine sent me all of her like inspo, like what she liked. And it had text, it had sounds, it had music, it had all the things. And so I was going through and finding all of those things when she didn't pay for that package. And as grateful as she was, and as burnt out as I was for like all of that, the consequence of that was I was undercharging myself for the amount of work that I did. But me not liking conflict, which is looking back, it's not conflict at all. I could have just said, hey, love this inspo that you have. But that's not the package that you got. So if you do want that, like we'll have to like just kind of revisit the packages, and that could have been it. But I didn't do that. The reason I did that was because she was my very first client and I did not want to lose clients. Like I was like, I have one, I want to keep them. I don't want to just like have one and then not know where my next one's coming from. So I was like, just trying to keep her like there. And so I was trying to do exactly what she wanted and exactly what she gave me. But that's not the package that she asked for. And I should have done the package, and that would have been a great opportunity to show that your content doesn't need all the bells and whistles to be good, especially when you're talking about good information. I definitely have learned this throughout my content creation, is that like I was just scrolling the other day, like just to like, as a content creator, sometimes you just kind of want to see like what's popular, what's trending. And I was scrolling and it was a lot of like overstimulating, to be honest. It was just like words going across the screen, people trying to come up with creative like hooks and all these things. And all of it is so good. It really is. But at some point, you just have to kind of strip it back and just be like, that's a lot. That is just a lot. And I don't need it to be like that. And just kind of like step back and just be okay with having like content that isn't so overstimulating. So like I said, ways that I could have handled this to set up a boundary, which wasn't really a boundary for her, but it was for me. I had to bound myself would just to have simply said, I love the stuff that you sent me. If you want the text and the music and all of that, I can do that for you, no problem. But it is going to be an extra charge because it does go into my other package. And that could have been the end of it. If she didn't want that, then she wouldn't have gotten it. If she was like, no, that's okay. I like, this is just kind of what I'm going for. I can add all that stuff later. I just want you to cut it out. Like, it could have just been that simple. It really could have. Okay, we are going to have a boundary pact this week together, me and you. So follow me on Instagram and TikTok and all the things, because I'll like keep up with you guys there and in my stories, and kind of like just kind of like share what I've been doing well and what I haven't been doing well. But this week we're going to pick one thing to commit to make sure that we are living a life, having a life, and it not be all about work and all about our responsibilities. We're actually having fun. So I am really committing to not taking more work than I can handle. I can get in a habit of just like onboarding clients and then being like, whoa, this is way too many. And I thank God that a lot of the time it's like a one-time client or it's a trial client or whatever. So then I'm able to like rework some things like going in towards the next month. But it definitely can get overwhelming. So that's something that I'm working on, not taking on more work than I can handle, and also just really, really respecting my time boundaries. So 6:00, I'm done. Not 6:05, not 6:10, not 6:30, but 6. And I'm going to see like how that goes. But yeah, so I think I saw on like TikTok or something one time, somebody talking about their parent, and they were just like, I have to remember that my mom is living life for the first time. And it hit me so hard because I was like, you're right. Like, we get so upset at people and just kind of like, I don't know, not forgiving. We kind of remember like the flaws in people, but we don't realize like I'm about to be 30 and that'll be my first time ever being in my 30s. I just got to the end of my 20s. I can only tell you my experience of my 20s, but I have no idea what 30s are like. I am learning it for the first time. Everybody's learning this life for the first time. Isn't that crazy? So it's okay if it's not perfect. It's okay if you're not like on top of it, but making an effort, making a point to be able to do that is just what we're going to do. So that's all I have for you for this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening and being here and just being a part of the Cozy and Thriving family. I am so excited. This is actually episode 30, which is crazy. We've done 30 episodes. So if you have been here since the beginning, thank you for being here. But yeah, that's it. Don't forget to follow me on all the platforms. If you want the Future You project notebook digitally, I do have that down below. It's linked down below. I'll also show you kind of like a portion on the screen. Last week, I went through all of it to show you exactly what you're getting in it. So you can go ahead and look at that before you purchase if you're wanting to make sure that it's something that you actually will use and actually something that you're like looking for. But other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Oh, don't forget, I have a newsletter. I started my newsletter a couple of weeks ago, and I'm starting a series on there called Business in Slippers, where we just kind of like talk about being cozy in business life and business world. So that's going to be fun. That'll also be in the link down below at itsmichaelabarnes.com, and you can sign up right there on the front page. You can also buy the Future You Project notebook right there on the front page. It's all right there, at least right now at the time of recording this. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you next week. Bye, everybody.